What's up, you guys? I'm going to be doing a video here talking about home time, because this is a very common problem that a lot of drivers have run into. It doesn't matter what carrier you're at. Some of you might have a lot of difficulty getting home time when you're wanting to be there, and there could be uh, or someone else at the same company could have an easy time getting home. I'm going to talk all about that. What are some of the causes of why you might have difficulty getting home time? Why some other people might have an easy time or whatever. Sometimes it's not always what you think it is, okay? So I'm going to start by going over this um, question that was asked in our group. It's kind of spawned this video. Basically, one of our drivers that asked about saying he has a hard time getting home time. As you see, and he has trouble getting to North Carolina. He always has to deadhead a few hours to get there. And another common complaint is people, not only have a hard time getting home, but when they do get home, it's a lot of times maybe a few days later or something along that line. Um, so I'm gonna give some detail on why that would be the case. All right, so first, the most important thing to know when if you want good home time, you got to go with focus on being with a carrier that actually does a lot of loads into your area. That means have customers that they deliver to in your area. Just because you see a lot of their trucks in your area doesn't necessarily mean that they're a good home time candidate for you if you're wanting to be home a lot. If you like to be OTR and but also want to be home regularly, uh, it, it can be a great company, but still be a bad fit for your needs. Taking my case for example, I live in Victorville, California, and I drive for John Christner Trucking. Okay, we do a ton of loads into and out of Southern California. I've in the 3 years about that I've been with JCT. I've done more than 3 times as many loads into or out. We're actually pickups or deliveries or swaps in California as I've done anywhere else, and a good large number of those are Southern Cal somewhere. Okay, so a lot of times for me, I can do 10-hour breaks at my house on my way to my receivers, go deliver off a fresh clock, and then probably go pick up another load, and then go do another 10-hour break at my house again, and then get rolling out of state with the load at that point. So because of that, I hardly ever put in for home time. I'm home enough anyway. And also, I've done 34-hour resets at home. It's not very common, but it's I still get plenty of opportunities to take breaks there. And then when I do actually need time off for which is usually something to do with getting my truck worked on, scheduled or unscheduled work, medical or dental appointments or something, or some kind of special event or occasion, whatever. Any of those kind of things, those are pretty much the only reasons why I personally usually put in for home time. I'm trying to get this truck paid off, and the more I keep moving it, the faster I can get it done. Um, anyway, that's getting into lease versus other stuff. That's a totally different subject and a totally different video for another time. But um, regardless, I have no trouble at all getting home. We have so many loads every single day going into California or going out of California. Particularly if I want to get home, I want loads going into California. And then add in even more, it makes it even more convenient for me is that we have a drop yard that is only 40 miles away from my house. So I can deliver anywhere in Southern Cal, anywhere in the Inland Empire region, anywhere in the LA County area or Orange County, San Diego County, whatever. Anything around there, south of we'll just say the San Fernando Mountains or whatever, or I guess the Angeles National Forest or San Bernardino Mountains. Anything on that side, it's a very convenient trip for me to deadhead from there to the drop yard, go drop my empty, and then just bobtail up to my house from there. So it's not a very long distance. Sometimes I even take my trailer home with me. It just depends on what's going on. But For some of you guys, though, you might come here and okay, JCT is a great fit for my own needs. Great company overall, and for me personally, what matters to me, it's great. So I'm not going to get on to the other topics of like pay or leasing versus company and all the other crap that people like to talk. I don't really care. I'm happy here, and that's all that matters. But some of you guys might, you might overall like this company a lot, but you might find that maybe you have a hard time getting home while you're here. Like this person here, they live in North Carolina. Okay, I'm not saying anything bad about JCT. I'm just saying if you live in North Carolina, you might want to evaluate what your priorities are. Do you want to be home regularly? Do you want to be home on a certain day of the week, like a particular day, and then know that you'll be there on time? I'd really kind of question if JCT would be the right fit for you. But if you plan on doing home time, only just like a little, not so frequently, and you're not really picky about what day you actually show up there, then yeah, it might be worth considering here. So your mileage is going to vary. I mean, you could find another company that is great for your own needs. Let's just say it's an OTR company. Maybe you live in North Carolina. Maybe you find that there's I don't know the companies out there that run out there a lot because I'm never there. I'm there, but it's rare. I'll put it that way. But yeah, you might find that there's someone there that does a whole bunch of loads into that area nearby you, and they'll be a great fit for your needs if home time is important to you. But for me, because they might be focused more on North Carolina or something and maybe not do very much or at all in California, they might be a horrible choice for my needs. So, yeah, take it for what it is. It's just because what's important to me doesn't mean it's important to you, and then just because what's important to you doesn't mean it's important to me. So spare me the shit talking about leasing or JCT or whatever else. I don't really care. I'm here to help educate some less experienced drivers on things that they might want to look for when they're looking for a company to drive for, or they want some better explanation of why they might be having difficulty. Yeah, so not having very many loads into your area is probably the number one problem that you're going to have with getting home time. When I drove on the OTR side with Sierra England, yeah, there were a whole bunch of Sierra England trucks in Southern Cal. They even have a terminal in Colton. I used to drive right past it all the time when I was an aircraft mechanic. But just because I see all their trucks doesn't mean that they're all OTR trucks. Most of their trucks that you'd see in the area, a lot of times are dedicated account trucks that only run regional or something, or even local kind of routes. So on the OTR side, it might look like they could be a good fit for me as far just only with home time. Forget about the pay and training issues and whatever else you might have bad to say. Spare to that. I'm just saying that they give the illusion that they might be a good fit on the OTR side, but in reality, they're a better fit if you live in Southern Cal if you're in a dedicated account. And then if you're in a dedicated account, it's a world of difference between the experiences in dedicated fleets there versus the OTR side. So totally different experiences there. Anyway, yeah, but on the OTR side specifically with England, there wasn't a hell of a lot that went into there. Usually had to rely on a Conway XPO load to get me in, and there weren't a hell of a lot of those every week. I mean, they were there practically daily, but more maybe limited numbers. I might have one going to Fontana or Orange or Santa Fe Springs or maybe even Long Beach or I think is where it was, or Carson, somewhere down that way. Somewhere anywhere out in that area. And yeah, let's see, it's been a while, so I don't even remember what some of the other deliveries that I would make in the area. Did one from Pennsylvania to a Hershey facility or related facility in Bloomington, right there, right up the street practically from the Colton England terminal. Um, but other than that, loads going into Cali, far more often than not, my best memory of them were all XPO loads that were going to particular XPO facilities. Not too many of them. And then a lot of times my DM would even tell me there's just not much there for loads going into Cali, and they'd always have a hard time getting me home. I had a great DM, and he was always totally honest with me, and he was a very experienced DM, and actually he had lots of years of driving experience too. So he was actually a good mentor for me. But point is, they didn't have much for freight going in that direction on the OTR side. So OTR side, if I wasn't a trainer and I valued being home more often or on time, yeah, not a good fit for me. Anyway, um, so yeah, but then it might be a good fit for someone else who might live up in the Salt Lake City area, or I don't know, somewhere along the I-80 corridor, because they run I-80 a lot more, especially if perhaps you live in Pennsylvania, Illinois. Yes, they do the Chicago area a lot, Pennsylvania a lot, North Carolina a decent amount too, I think. So you never know. Just again, because you see a lot of their trucks, certain companies' trucks in your particular area, doesn't mean that they're going to be a good fit for your home time need. Okay, so keep that in mind. Next is let's see. Also, especially if they don't have that many loads going to your area, yeah, it might be slim pickings on what days of the week you can also get there. So maybe you want to show up on a Monday morning or sometime on a Monday in your home time area. Let's say you drive for us and you live in central Pennsylvania and you want to get there, say on Monday. Okay, we don't have that much going into Pennsylvania. The loads do exist, but it's hard to get there. And yeah, I remember one of the loads I would pick up a Lemoore load a Leprino Foods load in Lemoore, California, and that would go to somewhere in Pennsylvania, or I could go pick up a Saputo cheese load over in Tulare, California, and that would go to Quakertown, Pennsylvania. Okay, well, those are slim pickings though. And all it takes for you to not be able to get that load is someone else to get pre-planned onto it before you get to it, or get a chance to get planned on it. Could even be your DM wants to get you that load, but the planner doesn't like them or doesn't like you. Maybe you're a pain in the ass. Maybe your DM is a pain in the ass, and the planner that is needed to get you there doesn't want to work with one or both of you for whatever their particular reasons are. It's unfortunate, but I mean, come on, let's be real here. If you were not driving a truck and you were working in a different kind of environment, would you want to help someone out who's always a pain in the ass, or who you can't stand working with? You're not going to do them any favors, are you? So who the hell are you to expect them to do you any favors when you're a pain in the ass to them? So that's something you got to work on as well, is your attitude. Your attitude can go a long way. If you're, make yourself likable to them and be on their good side. Don't give them a reason to not want to hook you up. And some of the things that you can do to make yourself likable to them is accept swaps when they ask you to do swaps. Save them on loads that they need help saving for on-time delivery. Do swaps to help someone else get home. Any kind of those things, they notice. Trust me, they will take notice of. They even put notes on your driver profile screen that shows, hey, yeah, you're really easy to work with, or you have a great attitude, or you have a shit attitude, or you can be a pain in the ass or something. They look at this stuff, and then as big as a company is, it might be, like even with us, usually have about 800 power units, and that's a lot of drivers. But you'd be surprised, it doesn't take much for these planners or DMs or whoever else to remember specific names and faces. It doesn't take much to build a reputation. A friend of mine just yesterday, and I we're both military vets, him Army and me Air Force. We were kind of joking about how um, basically in basic training, one of your goals when you go through basic training for military is to try to not let get the TIs or drill instructors, whatever, to know your name until as late in the training as possible, or if at all. Because the sooner they memorize your name, the sooner you have to wonder you're screwing up something. You're doing something wrong to get their attention, and you don't want to be that guy who's the first one they notice. Because then they'll really give you a hard time the entire time you're there. So same thing, just do what you can, put the effort in, and have a good attitude, and you're going to have fewer problems. Now, but going back to, like I say, you live somewhere not too far away from Quakertown, Pennsylvania, and maybe you want to be there on a Monday. You need that load, but here's the problem: the load might pick up on, we'll just say, a Friday or something, and you might not be able to deliver it until Wednesday, like 2 days after your appointment. And if they only go out on Fridays and only deliver on Wednesdays, and that's the only load that can really get you real close, then sorry, you're going to be home 2 days late. That's just the way it is. It's either that, or you have to get a load there the week before and then show up about 5 days early. And then you're going to like, well, how come I'm home too early? I can't make any money because I'm sitting around at home. I'm sitting around waiting for what I have to do, and I can't make any money. Yeah, that's what happens when you live in an area where hardly any freight is for whatever particular company it is. So that's something else to keep in mind. Also, especially with those longer loads, you need to have time on your HOS to work with to be able to deliver it on time. So especially like a longer load like that, we'll say it's 2,700, 2,800 miles or something like that from, they'll say Tulare to Quakertown. It's got to be somewhere in that ballpark. Well, you need to have enough hours on your 70-hour clock, plus whatever recaps are available between the day you pick up and the day it's supposed to deliver to be able to get it there on time. If there's a chance if it doesn't look like you have enough hours to work with to pick up the load and deliver it on time, then you're not going to get the load. You don't have the hours, and so they're just going to end up giving it to someone else more than likely, and then there you go. You're having a hard time getting home again. You're going to have to wait another week, maybe even have to get to California, do a 34-hour reset or something, or when you have more better recaps to work with, and then go get pre-planned onto a load like that. So that's something else. And then another thing, you might be thinking, well, how come I can't just run from where I'm already at, get a load from here to there? Okay, well, most major carriers, they mostly run contract freight. They usually don't do spot market freight. So I mean, they have a contractual obligation to do a certain number of loads with every shipper, and sometimes they need you to run their loads, and they're not going to go looking for spot market loads unless maybe the shipper just doesn't have enough loads to cover their needs. Then they'll start looking at spot market, and even in spot market, you have other issues. Can the carrier make any kind of profit off the load getting you there, or are they going to have to eat some money on their end to get you a load that doesn't pay them enough, let alone you? Also, they can't just shit out loads that whatever you make up. They just can't just say there's a load going from here to there, and they just can't just make something up like that. The shippers actually have to have those loads available to work with. And if they have regular loads, such say like the Quakertown load that I was talking about, if you want to get to Quakertown, you're let's just say in the Dallas area, you won't necessarily be able to get a load from the Dallas area up to the part of Pennsylvania you need to get to. You might need to take a load to California first, which is the wrong direction, but it's actually the right direction because it's getting you in the direction of a load that will be needed to get you where you're trying to go. So that's one of the other concerns, and that's we're also having the HOS and then delivering on time. Because I remember when I was with England, I was regularly running set routes basically between Southern Cal and Central PA myself, and then so I'd go to the PA, deliver my load, and then come back. Well, if I got to PA a little bit too late, then someone else got pre-planned on a load that was supposed to get me home, or maybe it just weren't any loads at the time, and then I'd have to take whatever was going in some other direction. Anything along that line. There's a lot of stuff that's beyond your control. It's also beyond the carrier's control. Sometimes it's the market. Where's the demand at? So there's a lot going on there. Don't blame the carrier. All right, you can just about blame yourself for going to a carrier that just doesn't do anything in your area or not enough in that area. Okay, so if getting home regularly and is exactly when you expect to be there is important to you, then make sure you pick a carrier that does a lot of freight into your area. All right, and especially if they do them daily into your area, like multiple loads daily into your area will substantially increase your chances of getting a load there and getting home on time when you ask for it. Okay, I think that's. I want to say it covers everything. There might be some more. I don't know. Yeah, we'll just call it good. That kind of gives you the basics, I guess, on that. And if you have comments, questions, whatever, anecdotes, whatever, add them in the comments section, right? If you're a trucker or want to be a trucker, whatever, and want to learn something or have good input, critique, doesn't matter, all right? Share your thoughts. Thanks for watching.